Jeremy S. Cook here, and today I'll be showing off how I made a Raspberry Pi camera mount that hangs down from a wire shelving unit and allows you to aim the camera with a coolant hose. You can see kind of the results here. It's meant to be used with Octolabs, and you can kind of see viewing the print head, or the print bed, I should say. So the first thing was to actually draw out the camera base. I used the Raspberry Pi dimensions so that I could make the holes in it so that everything would line up just correctly. This was a really good thing. I didn't have to measure it and just make sure later that I measured everything right. It was all correct. Made some standoffs and a mount in the back that the coolant hose would push down into. It was going to be a press fit and just made everything really secure. Also, I put 8 holes in it so I could use zip ties to wire to the wire rack. And then I put the camera mount to the side, as that's where the camera is actually mounted on the Pi. Put some radii to the camera mount, as that's always seems to be a good idea with the design, and looks pretty good. After this was actually time to print it out, and I used Octoprint because that's kind of what this build is meant for. Right here you can just see the camera just kind of hanging down, just kind of suspended from the wire rack or along with the Pi. Not really that neat, but you know, this mount will solve that problem. Still, even so, it's really cool to be able to see your printer just working remotely like this. I've got it in my garage, whereas I can just view it from the office here, command it to turn on, turn off, and just see what it's doing using the Raspberry Pi camera. Once that was done, I took it off the bed with my trusty 3D printing knife. Always satisfying to hear that sound of the print just coming off correctly printed and everything. After that, it was time to put some tap the holes in there. Use a 440 screw, even though the Raspberry Pi uses an M2.5. I had quite a few 440 left over from something else, and that fits okay. I pressed in the coolant hose base using this. You can see a hole there. I was thinking about maybe using a roll pin if it didn't fit securely, but it's in there pretty good, so I'm not even going to worry about that. There's those 440 screws. I had to kind of turn it around and around to make sure the hole was big enough. And then I put the zip ties on. Probably should have done that first, but yeah, hindsight's 2020. Zip ties didn't fit perfectly onto the rails, which I'd actually measured with my calipers. Slides back and forth, which is pretty awesome too. Makes it another axis of rotation, kind of like a 7th axis on a 6-axis robot. So you can see me finishing this, screwing everything in. And right there, that's one thing I had. I was wondering about this design. It actually does flex up and down quite a bit, so hopefully that'll hold up, but if not, I guess I'll make another one. This is the mount for the camera, the Raspberry Pi camera. Made some standoffs after that, just like the Pi itself, and the back will fit into the coolant hose. There I am cleaning out the inside, kind of deburring it or cleaning off the support structure. Use some hot glue on this to stick in the camera mount. Got a hole in it in the middle, so if I need to add some electronics later, I can do that, maybe a lighting system or something. For this, the Pi camera actually used the 2.5mm hole, so I had to use a tap and then a drill to make it a little bit bigger for the 440. Hit it with air hose to get rid of the dust. And everything did fit correctly after a little bit of manipulation. The next task was, of course, to actually fit it into the coolant hose. It fits pretty tightly, so that was kind of tough. Yeah, Herculean effort there, so good job. So now I can adjust the camera as I need. You can see here pointing at the GoPro camera that's filming it, along with a view from Octoprint. So from there it was time to print out a test piece and see how it did. This is a view from Octoprint from my desktop or my laptop, and there's a time lapse that actually generated automatically. And this little castle came off here and looked pretty good. So yeah, I'm really happy with Octoprint and how this works, and happy with this fixture itself. So hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, give it a thumbs up, like, share, subscribe, and leave me a comment. It's Jeremy S. Cook signing off.